All right, 4 o'clock. So let's get to it. Michigan and Alabama in the Rose Bowl. So I've gotten my prep for the games, cash ticket, wherever you get your podcast. Me and Cookies did the final, I felt like 30 bowl games today, but we did them. So the Michigan stuff, I'm going to approach this the way I've approached anything to do with you guys. I'm separating, it's compartmentalizing everything. All the cheating stuff and all that, that's going to be in the offseason. I told you that from the beginning. I want to just talk to you about the football. I'm not going to get into what Alabama's doing in prepping, okay? I'm separating all of it. Those are the ground rules. When I look at this game, I think you have to strip down all of the stats and throw them in the garbage. And here's why. For Bama, they didn't really figure out offensively what the hell they were till about 6-7 games in. It distorts their data. For Michigan, all the pretty numbers these idiots at the networks feed you are a lie. Ooh, 9.5 points a game. It's a lie. You played kids in wheelchairs. Look at your schedule. And it also distorts you a little bit that when you finally played some teams, your quarterback may or may not have been banged up. So here's what I arrive at. Take all the numbers and throw them in the garbage. Look at the matchup. I find it hilarious that people just are going with the SEC, it's Bama, Michigan's going to show their belly and get bombed. I don't subscribe to it. Here's why. First things first, let's approach this you attacking Bama on defense. Milroe does two things at an elite level. He scrambles and he throws deep shots. When you turn him into a short to intermediate passer, he's well below average. I'd like to think with a month to plan that Jesse Minter, with the pieces he has on defense, A, lane integrity, put a fence up, keep Milroe in the pocket. Do I believe you're capable? Yes. Do I believe you will force Milroe to check this thing down? Do I believe that you will force him to make accurate throws on a consistent basis that he is yet to make? Yeah, I do. Bama doesn't have a Derrick Henry. Bama doesn't have a Mark Ingram. Bama doesn't have a Trent Richardson. Bama doesn't have a Jahmyr Gibbs. This is a Bama rushing attack that's fine enough. But where it becomes good or great is when Milroe breaks the pocket and is unbelievable in the open field. The man's built like a tank. But I think you have the pieces to curb that a little bit. Now go to the flip side. Do I believe you can pass protect for J.J. McCarthy? No. Your tackles stink. And you're going up against Dallas Turner and Braswell. That is a wicked pair of edges. What would I comp it to? Penn State with Chop Robinson and Isaac Adisa. But here's the thing. What if JJ's ankle is right? What if the kid is willing? What if Michigan is willing to do something with him they haven't been willing to do? Which is, they're going to have to run him 8 to 10 times. Which means he's going to have to get hit 8 to 10 times. But his wheels can be the difference maker. Not only from, oh my God, I'm about to die, I need to escape, but in designed rollouts and moving the pocket. And then he is so good on the edges, and he's so good at finding people. But I started really to look at it. Bama's strength on defense is their corners. That doesn't matter to you. You don't use your perimeter weapons. Roman Wilson's going to be in the slot. Barner and Loveland, they're tight ends. You render guys like Kool-Aid McKinstry kind of useless because you don't use your perimeter people. And you know what Bama doesn't really do well? Cover the slot. There's a part of me that both of these teams are going to struggle offensively. That it's going to be the game you want it to be. It's going to be in the mud. It's going to be limited possessions. And you know what you do that Bama doesn't, you protect the ball. I swear every time I watch Milroe, he fumbles the football. And all it takes against Michigan is one turnover. And I give you as evidence A, B, and C. Look at the Ohio State game. Just look at it. The early mistake by McCord, ridiculous throw on the hot route, and that was the separator. That's the 7 points you need. The over-under in the game is about 44. In a game where touchdowns and possessions are going to be at a premium, I know you'll protect the ball. Will Bama? I also look at this. While I don't give Michigan a ton of credit for dropping bombs on teams, because the teams are ass, you know what Michigan really didn't do? They didn't win by 3 against Arkansas. They didn't win by 6 against a garbage A&M team. They didn't damn near lose to Auburn. I'm not going to allow Bama of the past to paint the opinion of my present. I can't. Now, if you want this to be as simple as Harbaugh in bowl games bad, Saban in bowl games good, respect. I tip my cap. I know that picking Michigan to win this game might be a fool's errand because Harbaugh never wins them. But you know what is actually in my mind about this? All of your scandals and all of the cheating stuff and the suspensions, I actually think it works for you. It works for you. It's galvanized this cult. Like these players actually think people are out to get them when it's the adults in the room that put them in this spot. But that can work for you in short order. Like there's another bowl game I'm picking for the podcast, and it's Wyoming and Toledo, and I talked about how Wyoming's coach Craig Bowl is retiring, and the players love him, and they're going to send him out. It's like the Craig Bowl Memorial game. It's the same thing with Harbaugh. I think any player with a brain knows Harbaugh's not here next year. Either he's going to be suspended all year or he's leaving for the NFL. That works for you. That's a rallying cry. Yeah, does it take a particular type of kid to want to play for a wacko like Harbaugh? Sure it does. But it works for them. I think they are as united as a team as any team in the history of that university. And that matters. And they're in their little submarine, and they're in their own little world, and they're constantly aggrieved, and they feel like everyone's out to get them. And you know what? We got made fun of for how we reacted to seeing Bama there. I actually feel like they're going to get this done. And that Bama, until or unless I see Milroe able to drop back on time, on platform, and make accurate short to intermediary throws, I don't think you're going to make a living on U of M playing 300 and just bombing away. And then it's 3rd and 9, and I'm going to rely on Milroe against Minter, who's an NFL DC in waiting. And I got to rely on Milroe to just, quote, make bleep happen. I don't think that's a recipe. I don't love Bama's running game. I don't love their O-line. It's fine enough. Milroe is superb. He's a specimen. He's incredible to watch. But with a month to plan, I'd like to think you're going to force him to do some things he does not want to do. And on your end, nobody really forces you to do much. You're fine running 3.3 yards a carry and then QB sneaking on 4th down. You're fine playing hideous. You're fine making it look like 1970. And as long as you get the lead, you get to play that way. Now, if somehow, some way you fall behind and you got to drop JJ back 30, 32, 34, 35 times, you're dead. You're dead. Your tackles stink in pass protection. Stink. The difference is there's no one in the Big Ten outside of Penn State who can really make you uncomfortable. And even then, what did you do? You turtled like Claude Lemieux and ran it 32 straight times. You do what you need to win games. It's actually a talent. It's egoless. You're willing to win the ugliest games in the world and don't apologize for it. I think you'll do it here. I just feel like it's going to be a weird 20-17 one turnover game for Alabama. The game's over in 45 minutes because the clock never stops moving. JJ will make one play on the edge, one scramble. You'll break your customary one run a game. Everything else will be 3 yards a carry. And I think it's enough. By the fact that you were installed as a favorite and the line hasn't moved, it's just sat there. When seemingly everyone's betting on Bama, also tells me something. That's not intergalactic. I'm not overly confident in this. I'm just giving you an honest read, okay? You can hate my guts. I'm sure this will circulate on Wolverine social media. It doesn't matter. I pick you, I don't pick you. Who cares? I get paid every 2 weeks. You people want to sit there and get all obsessed about Sparty rate. I shoot you straight. I think it's as open as it's ever been. This is not your daddy's Bama. This is not vintage Bama. It's just good Bama. Recency bias is not going to change my pick. Yes, this Bama bullied Georgia a week after Auburn bullied them. I don't want to overdo that. And yes, Michigan has looked very average since the Connor Stallion stuff. But maybe part of it is quarterback not healthy, road game in Happy Valley, tough sandwich spot against Maryland, and then a game against Ohio State. The last I checked, you won. You won. You didn't make mistakes. They did. Big moments, you made big plays. It's what winning teams do. So tell me where you're at with it. I know we're a few days out. I know. It's a weird deal. It's a Monday, a holiday. We're not on. Game's on in the afternoon. We don't get a chance to get a little closer to kickoff. But tell me where you're at with this, if you're a Michigan fan. 248-539-9797. You agree with my take? Do you disagree? I'm sure a couple people will call in and go, it's going to be a Bama blowout. Respect. You might be right. It's sports. You play the game. But I think Michigan's got a very credible shot here, and I actually lean towards him a little bit because as fun as Milroe is, when I need him to make a big play and make it 3rd and 6, get me 7, 3rd and 4, get me 5. That's not his game. But he'll throw one of the most glorious long balls you'll ever see. I'd like to think Michigan's got a plan for that. I'd like to think Michigan knows exactly what's up. Because you know what Bama doesn't have? And I'm not insulting guys like Bond and Burden and all the rest. They don't have Julio Jones. There's no Devontae Smith. There's no Jerry Jeudy. There's no Julio Jones. There's no Jalen Waddle. This is not vintage Bama skill. So in the absence of that, why not Michigan? Why not? 248-539-9797. David is sitting here in stunned silence. This is why I don't share everything with my guys before the show. I like organic response. David, I'll beat a pinata. Go ahead. He's got the stick.
I'm just worried about...
Oh, no. Next.
Oh.
I want you to gather yourself.
Okay.
You're emotionally shook right now. You were not expecting that. All right, Old Nation Brewing. You're going to be watching the Michigan-Bama game. Have a couple of beers. Enjoy yourself. Relax. Calm yourself down. Think you're going to be in the mix here.